children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well, studying well, obeying your parents, your teachers and being good children at all time. So children, you know science is very vast, it is elaborate, it talks about everything about us, okay, about the nature, about things around us, isn't it? So children, apart from the things that we see, okay, there are also certain things which are far away from us, okay, which we do see but we cannot touch them, isn't it? So let's talk about the neighbors of the earth in this chapter, okay. They are far away from us, they are our neighbors, we can see some of them, okay, very clearly, but we cannot touch them. So let's talk about the neighbors of the earth and see how much you know about it, okay. So here we plan to talk about the sun, the moon and the stars, alright. Alright, so now let's relate, okay. We see different types of things in the sky, but we cannot reach them. They are very far off. Let us know more about them, okay. So let's talk about these far away things, okay, in the sky in this chapter. So look at the sky. What do you see during the daytime? We see the sun, we see clouds, okay. And what about night? We see the moon and the stars, okay. And we do see clouds, but they are like, very vague and you cannot just make out, but you can feel that something is covering up the stars. So children, these are the things that we see in the sky, okay, during the day and during the night. The sun, the clouds, the moon and the stars. So the sun, the moon, the stars and our earth, they are the parts of the universe, okay. Now let's talk about the sun, the moon and the stars. Let's begin with the fact check about the sun. The sun, it's the brightest star, okay. So we can see the sun during the daytime. The sun looks like a hot ball of fire that shines brightly during the day. So children, we all know that our day starts when the sun rises. So as soon as the sun comes out, you will see that everything starts getting brighter, okay. And as the day proceeds, we start feeling warm also, because the heat of the sun is very vast, okay. It's very prominent and we start feeling hot. It's really hot, okay. So it's like a hot ball of fire. It shines brightly during the day. The sun is very hot, it shines during the daytime, it gives us heat and light. The sun makes the world warm and bright. The sun rises in the east every morning and brings us a new day. During evening, it sets in the west and brings in the night. So as soon as the sun sets, you see that everything starts getting darker and the night comes, okay. So the movement of the sun is all dependent on the movement of the earth around the sun. So that's when we start when we get the day and we get the nights and all, okay. Now, so we all know that the day begins with the sunrise and the day ends with the sunset, and slowly and gradually everything starts getting darker and then the night comes. But sometimes, okay, during the evening or maybe sometimes during the day also, you do see the moon. But when do you prominently see the moon? You see the moon prominently during the night, okay. So let's talk about the moon. When the sun sets, it becomes dark everywhere. Then we see the moon in the sky. It shines with a white milky night. It gives us light at night, okay. It looks like a big white ball. It is smaller than the earth. It is not very far from the earth, okay, than the sun. The moon changes its shape every day. So as soon as it gets darker, we see the moon, okay. And what is the look of the moon? It is white in color, okay, and sometimes the color also changes. It becomes, sometimes it's like orange, sometimes a little on the yellowish side, but it all depends on the type of day it is, okay. Now, so it is very far from Earth, but not as far as the sun is, okay. So now, something very prominently about the moon is that it changes its shape every day. So every day when you look at the moon, it may not look the same. The size of the moon changes, and there is one particular day during the month when the moon is not seen at all. So that is known as the new moon day, okay. So by that day you don't see the moon, and then the following days you start seeing the moon. So the different types of the shapes of moon are, there is a new moon, there is a waxing moon, okay, waxing crescent. Then you have the first quarter, which is like the half moon. Then you have a waxing gibbous. Then a full moon, okay, and then the waning. So waxing is when you, after the new moon, that is the day when you don't see the moon. After that, when the moon starts coming in the sky, so slowly and gradually how its shapes increases is known as the waxing, okay, moon. And then after the full moon, how the shape decreases and then the new moon comes, that is how the shape changes. So waxing means increasing shape of the moon, and waning is the decreasing shape of the moon, okay. So new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, then you have full moon, then you have waning gibbous, third quarter, and then the waning crescent, okay, followed by new moon. This is the cycle which keeps on going, okay. Now, during some nights, the moon looks like half of its size. We call it a half moon. During some nights, the moon looks like a huge ball. We call it a full moon. Do you know that there are some nights when we do not see the moon at all? As I said, that is known as the new moon, okay, the new moon day. Now, let's do a fact check. A full moon is 9 times brighter than a half moon, okay. Now, explore around. Head out to search for the moon this week. Draw the shape of the moon which you see. So, every day evening you have to do this exercise. You have to go out, check the shape of the moon, and you have to draw it, okay, and then see how it changes, okay. Now, act on. What do you call this moon? So, look at this shape and tell us what are these two types of moons called, okay. Now, followed by the moon, let's talk about the stars. We see many stars twinkling in the night sky. The stars are hot and bright like the sun. They are bigger than the sun, but they look smaller to us because they are really very far away from us, okay. We cannot count the stars. They are infinite. There are infinite stars in the sky and we cannot count them. They are countless. Some stars are small and some are big. They also give us light at the night time. Alright. So, children, now that you know about the sun, the moon and the stars, so every time you step out of your house and you look at the sky, you will now be able to recognize them all. Alright. So, children, let's do a quick run through and look at the gist of the chapter. We see the sun, the moon and the stars in the sky. The sun shines during the daytime. It gives us heat, it gives us light. The moon and the stars are seen at the night time. The moon gives us light at night. It is round in shape and the moon changes its shape every night. We cannot count the stars. They are countless. Okay. I hope you followed all these things. Now, let's look at the new terms that we've learned in this chapter from the term bag. Sun. What is the sun? It's a huge ball of fire which gives us light during the daytime. Moon is a big white ball which shines at night. Stars are objects which twinkle at night in the sky, and that's why we have this famous rhyme, twinkle twinkle little star, because the stars keep twinkling at night. Okay, now it's time to evaluate you. Take the correct option. We can see sun, moon and the stars in the house, water or sky. Absolutely right, it's the sky. It gives heat and light during the daytime. Who gives us heat and light during the daytime? That's right, it's the sun. The moon changes its shape every night in 5 days or in 1 month. The moon changes its shape every day, okay, every night rather. When the sun rises, it is the dash time. When the sun rises, it is evening, morning or night. It is morning. Now, fill in the blanks with the correct word. We cannot count the, what are countless? Stars. The moon changes its shape every day. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The dash shines with a white milky night. It is moon. The stars look small because they are very far away from us. Okay. Now, you have to match the columns. Okay. What changes its shape? It's the moon. What are countless? It's the stars. And what gives us heat and light? Sun. Okay. Now, write the words correctly in the sun column and the moon column. Okay. Now, school. When do you go to school? When the sun rises. Okay. In the morning, daytime. Dinner. We have dinner at night. We sleep at night. We play during the day. So, it is the sun. Okay. Stars, it's at night. So, it comes under moon. Sunlight under sun. It gets dark, okay, at night. So, it comes under moon. Lunch we have during the day. So, sun. Dream. When do you dream? When you are fast asleep. So, it is night. So, it comes under moon. Breakfast, you have the first meal in the morning, which is the breakfast, comes under sun. Kite, you fly kite in the sky during the daytime. Okay, so sun. An owl, a owl is sitting in the night on the tree. So, it comes in the moon category. Alright. So, now children, answer the following questions. Which is the bigger star? The sun or the moon? The sun. Which is far from the earth, the sun or the moon? It's the sun, which is far away from us. Okay, but because of the heat and light, okay, it is so huge. It's a ball of fire. That is the reason why it shines so bright. What do we see in the sky during the daytime? We see the sun in the sky during the daytime. And what do we see in the sky during the night time? We see the moon and the stars. And what do you know about full moon and half moon? The light of the full moon is 9 times brighter than the half moon. Okay? And where does the sun set and rise? The sun sets in the west and rises in the east. Okay? Now, fun zone. Make a night scene with cutting of moon and stars from silver paper on a black sheet. So, take a black paper, a black sheet, and then take a silver paper and cut it in the shape of the moon and the stars and paste them on that black sheet. See how beautiful your night sky will look. Alright. Now, field activity. You know that the moon changes its shape every night. Sometimes we see only a part of the moon, at other times we see the entire moon. Observe the moon closely for a month. Note its shape every night and draw it in your diary with day and date. Point out the day of full moon and the day of no moon. Okay? So, children, you have to do this activity, observe the moon from today itself. Now, life skills and values. Sitting under the sun is very good for health. Our body produces a vitamin in presence of the sun light, which is important for the bones. So, remember to sit under the sun for at least 10 minutes every day. So, children, the sunlight is good for our health as well. It provides us with vitamin D. So, ensure that you are exposing yourself to the sun at least for 10 minutes during the daytime, because that vitamin is good for our bones. Now, hustle and bustle. Find out the names of the people who have gone to the moon. Also find out what they have discovered. Okay. So, children, before you do this activity, what do you have to do? You have to quickly reread this chapter, complete all the exercises, the project work that you have to do, and then start finding information about these people who have gone to the moon. Alright, children, get going.